Hello everyone, and welcome to Into the Rift, a series in which we will be explaining the mechanics of the Rift system, how Riftkin and Tamers interact with rules and mechanics, and all aspects of character creation and gameplay. In the Rift system, as with all tabletop role-playing games, there will be many times in which a player is called to roll a skill test. These are represented by a player rolling a 20-sided die and adding the corresponding skill modifier. For example, a Tamer with a +2 bonus to Endurance, making an Endurance test, would roll their d20 and add +2 to their roll. But this is where the Rift system will differ from other games, as Tamers will have skill masteries, which will further improve some of their skill tests. It's time to take a closer look at Mastery Dice. Mastery Dice serve as an embodiment of a character's specialized knowledge and experience within a specific skill or action. When rolling a skill test with which they have mastery, players roll a d20 alongside a d6 mastery die. The results of both dice are added together to determine the results. Each Tamer begins their adventure with a number of mastery dice equal to the ability score their path has mastery in. For example, a champion's mastery dice total will be determined by their might score, and a scholar's mastery dice total is determined by their knowledge score. When a Tamer has mastery in multiple core abilities, or shares the same score for 2 or more different abilities, their mastery dice will always correspond to the path they are furthest along in. For example, if a Tamer starts their path as a champion at first level, and then pivots and starts going down the path of the scholar, knowledge will determine their mastery dice. Whichever paths you choose to walk, your highest level path will determine your mastery pool. If 2 or more paths have the same amount of levels, your mastery die will instead be determined by whichever ability score is higher. Mastery dice can be shared amongst players for skill tests, such as navigation or foraging, but not on ability tests, like knowledge or exploration. Mastery dice can be shared among allies attempting a skill test as long as one of them has mastery in the skill. There's no range limit on this collaboration. Characters can support each other regardless of their physical proximity. Mastery dice are intended to encourage inter-party cooperation, and many paths have unique ways they can expend mastery dice to benefit themselves or their allies. For example, champions can use mastery dice to enhance their weapon attacks, and ninjas can channel their mastery dice into a devastating ambush strike. When a Tamer channels mastery dice into their own abilities or assists an ally in a skill test, they expend a mastery die from their pool. But if a Tamer is performing a skill test in which they have mastery, they do not expend a mastery die. Each day at dawn, if a Tamer rests, they will regain up to half their total mastery dice, rounded down. Mastery dice must be declared prior to rolling a skill test or performing a path ability, and while a player may only contribute 1 mastery die to any given roll, any number of players with mastery in a skill can contribute a mastery die to that test. Here's an example of mastery dice in a combat scenario. A fight breaks out between some adventurers and a few tattle rattles. Our ninja expends one of their 2 mastery dice on an ambush strike, defeating one of the tattle rattles and leaving the ninja with only 1 remaining mastery die. Their allied champion is called to make an awareness test to detect an approaching tattle rattle, and the ninja contributes their final mastery die to the champion's roll. The champion has mastery in awareness, and so will now roll 2d6 and add the amount to their test, with the ninja's die being expended, while the champion and the tattle rattle do not expend dice on their respective checks. Now that the ninja is out of mastery dice, their ambush strike ability is unavailable to them, as they cannot expend a mastery die to perform it. However, they will still gain a mastery die on their stealth test to reach a more favorable position in the fight and moving to flank with their champion ally. Riftkin will have mastery dice as well. However, their mastery works differently from a Tamer's. A Riftkin gains mastery dice on their mastered skills, as a Tamer would. However, they are unable to share mastery dice with their allies in most circumstances. However, Assistant-style Riftkin and the Vigilante's sidekick are able to share their mastery dice with their Tamers, and the rules will apply to these rolls as normal. Ultimately, mastery dice serve as a nuanced tool for character specialization, teamwork, and strategic decision-making on your adventure. Mastering mastery dice can significantly impact the outcomes of your adventures, benefiting you and your allies, and protecting you from disastrous failures in critical moments. We hope you've enjoyed our look into the Rift, and that you have a solid understanding of the Mastery Dice system. If you have any questions on Mastery Dice, please let us know in the comments below, and we'll be happy to clarify things. Thanks for watching. I've been your Rift Keeper, and we'll see you next time we look into the rift. We'll see you next time we look into the rift. I like that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to give you a take of that. Hello, everyone. Too much zhuzh. All right.